Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. This is the Spiel Essen 2024 haul video. Games I've massed recently, and basically I'm using a pen to point at stuff because it's just too much in shot to try and give you a decent overview as well. So I'll be running through all these games, why I've got them, what they're all about, and obviously games that are either on the channel or have been recorded and scheduled to go live, or will be obviously going live soon. So we're going to go from left to right. Dominion, I love Dominion. 9 out of 10 game, great game. The first kind of deck builder, my favourite deck builder, definitely in the top 4, and it's very close between all of them. And I'll be talking more about those in a bit. We've also got an expansion, I think it's the 13th and the 14th expansion for the second edition of Dominion. So we've got Hinterlands and Prophecy, I think it's called. Plunder, sorry, there we go. Findorf, this is a game I think is as good as, if not as better than Power Grid. It's a very similar game, but it's a race element to it as well. 75 minutes is a bit shorter. I've played as a higher player count, close to 5. Great game. This is by Rio Grande Games, by the way. You can also get 2F Spiel versions as well. I have been to Findorf. It's by Bremen, which is now where Freedom and Freeze lives. I used to, I still visit very frequently a place near Petershagen, which is actually where he's from. So, Stratego, a quick battle. I played Stratego online, loved it on an app, so I want to try it in person. Below that, we've got Lowlands, which is involving Sheeps and Fields of Arla, which I'll come back onto. Dampfos, one of Spiel des Jahres, a number of years ago, good 20, 40 years ago, got that. An Albi Cup, good decent beer. It wasn't too strong, like 3.8%, so I had a few of those. We have Sky Team by Scorpion Mask expansion, so that is for that game. Turbulence. Steal This Game, this is a game designed by David Turtsey. Basically, lots of publishers lost money and thefts around 8 years ago, so they quickly made a game trying to get some money back by selling that game. The Mystery Agency, now I've got a few of these. I have played one of them, it turns out, before, Balthazar Stone, which actually is on the channel. There'll be a ranking of all 4 of them, so just whilst we're here, I can see there's the 4th one over there. So we've got various different games. The most recent one is The Man from Sector 6. I'll be siding for that one. It involves newspapers and files and stuff like that. Balthazar Stone involves a treasure chest. And let's go back and do the whole back row, all these Kallax, ticket try size boxes. So, before we reach that, we have Sushi Boat. So check out my video for Heart of Crown, another one of the top 4 deck building games. Extremely similar to Dominion. It's even got duchies or dukes, as they call them. Instead of dominions, they're called domains. And Sushi Boat is by Japan AmassGames as well. And you're basically pushing sushi around and trying to kind of memorize what has gone under the conveyor belts. Next to that is, I think, Mini Express or Train Express. I can't remember the name for that one. By a company at the back of Hall 5, back left. It's by Good Game Studios and designed by, I think it is Wong Kerr. I think it may be out. I've never said his name out live before. But he designed Mini Tree or Christmas Tree, which you can find on the channel. So it's Google AmassGames Christmas. Or he also designed the more fun-looking, let's say, vegetable stock. So that is that game. I'll double check the name of that game. But anyway, we've got Atoll. This is by Albi. This is obviously Protocol Underwater. On top of it, though, we've got Lone Wolves over in Hall 2. This is a game by Wonderful World Board Games. Next to it, we have got I Met the Designer, a 4.04 complexity rating at time of recording. Johnny Pack. Johnny Pack, who lives over kind of the western parts. I want to say near Phoenix, but somewhere near there. He's designed Coloma, which I've got on the shelf. Yet to play. Check out my videos for Sierra West. Google AmassGames Sierra. And I've sent him some promos for for Crown of Amara, and this has got lots of rondels in it. Crown of Amara has 2 rondels in it, and he was telling me about Shipyard, has got 5 rondels. Next to it, we've got the Mines of Zavinor, or the Scepter of Zavinor by Dice Tree Games, and Modern Art. Now, Modern Art you used to be able to get from Oink Games. You can't get it anymore, which is why I got this one over in Hall 4, over in Essen. In Hall 5, Pythagoras Games, we've got Asian Tigers, an economic game. Very keen to try this one out. This is designed by Nuno. Can't remember how to pronounce his last name, but it begins with an S, Santos or something. And yeah, this seems interesting. It's their first release. And next to it, we've got, there's different names to this. I'll do the English one at least, which I think is called Sacred Valley. So Sacred Valley is a game which is all about alpacas in Machu Picchu. This pen was up Machu Picchu in February, March time. That's when I'm wearing an alpaca jumper. And that's why I thought that'd be of interest, by Broadway Games, which is over in Hong Kong, and there's more Broadway games I'll come back onto. Next to it, we've got expansions, 4 expansions, plus we've got 3 mini promo expansions for the game Dreamscape by Silex Games. This has been developed, and these expansions are by Pierre, who owns Sir Silex, found in Hall 5, at the back of Hall 5. I'm saying where these halls are. I know this is after the fact, but they might be in the same location next year. Canal, this is Orangeburger Canal, which I do not know if you're pronouncing it right, but it's designed by Uwe Rosenberg, which you can check out on the playlist for Uwe Rosenberg, as including other games here makes up my 40th Uwe I would have played. And I was keen to try this one out, also by Silex, which is maybe they're next to each other. Then I have Noria. I'm doing a separate video on games I've owned more than once, or games I've multiple copies of, because Noria's here. And I haven't actually included games which I've got more than once. I might have done a prior video, but I will be doing another one. So Noria is Sophie something designed it. Got another game by her. She designed The Boldest, and keen to try that one out. And then above that, about probably one of the funniest titles I've saw in Essen, Carry Me Please, a pig ruins a party, is basically what it's all about. It's a trick-taking game. Got Croconole or Croconole behind it. I've kind of put the fire on behind, but don't worry, it's just electric, and it's not any heat on there at the minute. Sphinx, which is by Impatience, the latest release by Impatience, found or fronted by Shady Torbay, but not designed by him. And then we've got Babylon. I met the designer of Babylon. He's the first-time designer from France, I believe. They were in Hall... I forget the hall now. I'm going to guess Hall 3, yes. Then Galilei over in Hall 4. This is a Czech company. Thomas Holdek is the designer. He's also the designer of Tea Garden by Albi as well. I don't have SETI, which is the third one I want to check out. And above it, we have got Ice Cool Wizards by Brain Games. Then we have Arctic and also Cult Express 10th Anniversary Edition by Ludonaut. And underneath it, we also have Cult Express because we need the base game for it. We've also got Neuland. The reason I got this is it's by Eggert Spieler, and it's designed by Peter Eggert. That's the only reason I got that game. And in between them, we have the expansion for Discordia 2nd edition by Bernd Eisenstein, published by Iron Games, found at the back of Hall 3 in terms of the back wall. Superfly, this is a re-implementation of Cash and Guns. We've then got Biome, which I'll be having live by November, involving nests. It got $400,000 on Kickstarter. Tower Up, this is a first design. Well, they do one game a year. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to speak to them about this, but only one game a year, so they focus on it. I'm wondering if that's why they're called Monolith. Monolith makes sense for a game called Tower Up. And yes, a tower building game, 8-bit box. I have met the designers, although Sebastian Pichon I've not met, I don't think. And he is behind, I think, Jaipur. And then Lubeck, this is a game actually I used to own. So I've got 2 copies now. And that is already live on the channel. Horrified recorded, will be going live soon. Underneath, 221 B Baker Street as well. Played through 17 of the 75 missions. And then Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, funny enough. The Baker Street Irregulars, I've played 9 of the 10 missions. And the last one's going to be very long, apparently. Which is a bit of a shame, because I thought it'd be a short one. And then that'll be live too. Windmill Valley, Danny Garcia, great designer based on Barcelona, which I have played in, which like I said is great, so I'll be making a video of those 2 for Board and Dice. Earth, I've tried to play it online, did struggle because it was asynchronous turns, and I've heard it is best in person, so I'm looking forward to playing that. I am waiting for the insert that I've ordered to arrive, and it wasn't available in Essen in the end, so that's not going to come until December though. Dog Park I've got the stickers for somewhere, which I'll have in shots and stuck up, and there you go, they're the stickers for Dog Park. Then next to it behind is Corellia by Hooch. This is a game by Michael Riddick or something, and yes, another game set underwater whereby you're rolling dice. I have played it, need to get a video out, and yeah, you're trying to get it's a set collection kind of game. They've got Photosynthesis, Haimahash, this is by Blue Orange. There are a number of games by Horrible Guild, so this is most of the haul, and it's not all of them. There's at least 10 games not here. They will be here in December. I kind of touched on December earlier. Yeah, more games due in December. So, would like to meet. This is a game from the northwest, I think near Lancaster. It's their first game, but it's called WLTM, and it's basically like a Lonely Hearts ad, and that's how you find people. Underneath it, we have Pickle Blast. That's already on the channel, so just Google AmassGames Pickle. And the best game name I've seen perhaps ever, Blank Me, which is obviously how you're filling stuff in. Then we've got Castle Burgundy. This is the 2nd edition with all the special stuff in it. Obviously, you can get a nice fancy deluxe edition, but I know people keen to be playing this because it's got lots of expansions, lots of 8 different modules. And I'm crunching on a lozenge right now. If I'm speaking too fast, just slow it down. Then we've got Kavango. This is the deluxe edition. Now, you can check out my video for Kavango already. I will be doing another video to show how it looks. and also maybe that comparison video based on the version I had before. 13 Beavers, I think Matt Edmondson, the BBC radio DJ, is behind this one. Then Dinosaur Island, played Dinosaur World, didn't like as much as Dinosaur Island, looking forward to seeing how this 2-player version goes. Back to Broadway, we have got one of 2 other games here, which I think this is my life, this bed is mine. Something about a bed and pets. Or behind it, there's the other mystery agency game. We've got My Life Be Like. I was demoing this over in Essen. This is a 3 to 5 player game, beer and pretzel game, whereby you're spending energy to kind of getting cards to kind of set collect. But the better you do, you're burning through your deck quicker, which means it's kind of a deck, not destroying game, but a deck worsening game, because you're starting to take negative points, so you can't bid as well in the future. Behind it, we have got a couple of games. We've got Zoc. So Zoc is a 2-player abstract game, a bit like, I haven't played Kelp, but a little bit like, something is attacking something else. Button Shy game bag holds 18 button shies. We have Joking Hazard down here too. Refuge was technically not out by Bombix because of deliveries, but it did arrive. So looking forward to playing that. I'm aware some Germans think it's refugee, but I think that's just a derivative of the word. I've got some special edition Captain Games' duck and cover, which has got, I think, their signatures. I think it's the real ones. And I've got 550 out of the 999 they made. So we're kind of looping around and then spiraling to the centre. We've got Smilio 24th edition by, in the 24th year of, well, not 24th, year 24. So Smilio 2024, basically haven't opened up yet, but we'll see probably a lot of these games in there, whereby you're trying to match things up like Guess Who. Then we've got Landmarks. This is kind of a game I'm really keen to try because it is basically Codenames meets, well, some people might say So Clover, but it's kind of like a route building game, which I like. You're trying to reach the other side. I did speak to someone there saying that is there a problem whereby apparently one side can be a bit more favoured than the other. That's only the first printing, and it's only affecting, I think, one card out of all of them. Warbash Cannonball, the new version of Chicago Express. 8 out of 10 game, love it. This is the Rio Grande version, not the Queen Games edition. And the final game by Broadway Games over in Hong Kong is Lifeboats. This is a newer version, and there's a few lapel pins which I've got out, which you can kind of see. There's one down here, and I'll be showing them when I, of course, talk to you about Lifeboats. Love Game 12 Trick Trick. This is by Madu Games over in Korea, and that kind of touches those bits, and now I'm going to move into those central bits. So just behind Madu, we have got a game called Sign. I don't know much about it, and that's the only one I'm not really sure much about, so have to look when I get into it. Then we've got Gibbers, which is by Hobby World, which is a very interesting field linguistics game, where over an hour, or the best version of the game is over 3 hours, you'll basically create your own language going, and by the end, you can definitely talk to each other. Brainline, this is a game by Homo Sapiens Lab, over in Taiwan. And next to it, we've got Crop Circles. So Brainline, I don't know too much about, but yes, you're trying to figure stuff out, obviously. And they've got Crop Circles, which won in Chile the best roll and write game of the year. Next, we have Karak. This is Karak Goblin, I think. So this is a standalone kind of card version of Karak. Check out my Karak video. Just Google AmassGames Karak. Then we've got Chope, which I was playing over in Essen. This is a game whereby you're trying to reserve a table using tissues. But if you are the people trying to claim the table, because it's a 3 to 5 player game designed by Daryl Chow, published by Jolly Thinkers over in Hong Kong, then you are looking to claim a table. But if you're the person revealing the cards, you're trying to stop when you feel like you've pushed your luck enough to get food. And if the cards are revealed either tables, it doesn't bother you, and they're trying to claim it. But if it's food, you can stop whenever you like and get as much food as you like. But if it's the same card twice, same food card, you're going to get one card, not all the ones you've been accumulating. Then we've got a game next to it, Catch the Bomber. Play this as well. Social deduction game. I think 3 to 6 players, whereby the bomber has to complete one objective, whereas everyone else has to complete all of their objectives. Food Chain Island. This is by Button Shy Games. Don't know much about it, but it's a solo game only. I have talked to you about Ancient Knowledge before, but check out my video for the non-prototype, it seems, version. Back left-ish. This is a game by Yellow, but it's their kind of like kids version. And it's not called Yellow, it's called like Loki or something. And it's an age 3+ game to play with my nieces. Then Bubble King, again, a game by Homo Sapiens Lab. It's the same designer as Brainline, I think. But I'll check that later. By all means, check out the description and the comments and best on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We've got 3 games of Monumental Duel, 3 versions. Designed by Matthew Dunstan. Check out my Matthew Dunstan playlist. Kazao, this is a game by... it's a Slovenian company called Happy Games, And Happy Games happen to have released this. It's available in Germany, and you're flipping over a card and rolling two dice out of 4, and it'll be something like red and blue. And what you're trying to do is play a card, and the centre of the card has red and blue on it, but it cannot be around the edge. So a bit like the game Illusion, it's a bit like the game Spot It and Cobra Paw. Tough but clever game. You're trying to get rid of your hand of cards. If you make a mistake, you draw 3 extra cards, and it's 3 rounds, and then you use 1 by getting rid of your cards 3 times. Urbion, this is the last game in the second edition of Impatience's Honor Universe series. Then we've got Ugly Griffin in, another solo game, which is by Bunchai Games. If I haven't done it yet, check out my playlist for them. And then Chicago Poker underneath. The next to it, I've Colour My Critters, which is a simple deck building game for kids. Next to it, I've got a Gift of Tulips, which I keep pronouncing or saying the name of that wrong. Is it Gift for Tulips, or is it Gift for Tulip? Something like that. Or is it Gifts for Tulip? Something like that. By Fresh Forlag, and it seems like Top is now bought them. I'm not sure, but there's something going on with that. And I did go to the website. So we then have Green Box Games, which is basically game components in a box which you can play around with. Polaris, this is by another Chilean company, the same one in fact, because it's called Fractal Yugos, and this is Polaris. So this is designed by, amongst others, Simone Gianni. So this is the Italian designer who's done games such as Razza Wistar. Check out my video for that. Then we have 1980 by Looping Games over in Spain. This is latest release this year, along with 1998 ISS, which came out a year or 2 ago, and then next to it another new release, which is Around the World in 80 Days. You can check out on Instagram photos with myself and the illustrator Pedro. You can also so one of my favourite photos on there at the minute from the fair. It's just really cool, and my mum likes it the best as well. So below it we've got Compromat. This is a French edition, because it does say French, English, German, but actually it's only with French text on it. Then we have Deckscape, which is El Dorado. There is another game I mentioned, 10 and not present. I'm missing. Last year I missed 2 games. This year I'm missing Deckscape Crew versus Crew. So I might have left it in a restaurant, I think, is where I've deduced it to be down to. Clustered is another by the Norwegian publisher, I think, called Simply Catisis or something like that. And then we have the Natural Instant below it, which I know Tom Vassell likes, I think. And then Yaxia, this is another quite a looking big game by Helvetique, who also publishes Zoc. And I didn't get a chance to meet the Zoc publisher designer, which is about 2:30 on the Saturday, or maybe the Friday, or maybe both. Next to that, I can't quite tell what it is, but I think this is Run Animals Run by Miso Games, the same publisher who's made out My Life Be Like. After that, we've got Perfect Alibi. This is by the designer of Revive, I think it is, by Lord Belit. After that, we have Three of a Kind. This is a party game by the designer of, amongst other things, Canopy, which you can find on the channel. So it's Google AmassGames Canopy. But this time it is published not by Druid City. It's still published by Druid City, as before Druid City did Wonderland's War. But Three of a Kind is by Tim Eisner over in, I think, Portland or Seattle way, West Coast, Northwest. And he was over in Hall 2 in the corner. And then Linger behind that is by Stefan Spieler. I think I've got a Stefan Spieler video whereby you're going to have like rods and sticks. They're going to make like rows, and you have counters, and you're trying to do something, which I've yet to figure out. As it's not been opened. Then we've got King of Tokyo Duel. So check out my 2-player playlist for that. Something called like Foodie Forest, something like that, and that's by Rainer Knizia, who I met again. I shook his hand, the Pegasus Spieler booth. He was inside having a Coca-Cola with his backpack on, with his leather briefcase, you might say. Didn't see him wearing a bow tie, and I think it was his hair. And yes, so check out my playlist for that. That's by Yellow. If I haven't got a Yellow playlist, I'll have one soon. There's 2 more Yellow games, though. Guilty, which seems really interesting. They're like murder mystery kind of games. One of them is 18+, but in the UK it's 16+. There's one thing to do with smoking as well. Then we've got Pina Cola Dice, which is a bit like bingo, meet some other things, and I think some, maybe trick-taking. And then after that, actually there's Yellow Notebook, I'm not sure why that's there. Then we've got Maya with an exclamation mark, also by Miso Games. Roll dice, get patterns, it's a real-time game. After that, you've got the expansion, actually the most requested expansion this year by everyone I played with, and that is for Astronauts. Now this is actually an expansion for Astronauts Eternity, but Astronauts Eternity is itself an own big box expansion of Astronauts. Pegasus, thank you to Nick Welford, who recommended that. Don't know if it's any good, so I don't know if it is a good game. But yes, I'm going to try it out because you recommended it. After that, we can come in a bit. Peso, I did meet Eric R. Martin for the first time actually in Essen, and I think it was Peso that recommended Odin on top of it, both of them by Helvetique. Behind it we have got Arch Robbery, also by Rainer Knizia, and I think there's another game. Oh yeah, we've got Duck and Cover by Captain Games, which I mentioned earlier, Whispering Woods by Fractal Yugos, Alpina by Helvetique. We've got some small games about, I think, cafes with Miso Games. We've got Doodle Puzzle, which I think is by Wonderful World, definitely a Taiwanese publisher. Deducto, which is Brain Games. We've got Karakum, you can see on the channel already, but haven't played enough of it, so that's why I'm keen to get my own copy. So Google AmassGames Karakum, that's Karakum. And then we've got, you can hardly see it, but it's just there. That's called the Claw Machine. You're basically going down and grabbing stuff, but using cats. Wooden inserts were in my box for Gin, which it was in a prior haul video, so I've got that now, and also for the Costs of Burgundy. That's why that's kind of all together. We've also got Mamma Mia by Uwe Rosenberg. Check out my playlist for that. As again, there's 40 videos to check out there too. Various promos. We've got Dixit, a 2017 one. It's got like a cocktail thing on it, so I've got a couple of those. And that kind of, I've got some micro macro promos. The first one, Alpha Showdown, but I also have the big box, the bonus box, which also has it too. I've mentioned Earth, mentioned Wimble Valley, mentioned Barcelona. I think that covers everything. Was that one game to talk to you about? I think it was just the name of that 3+ game. Hide and Peak Friends. I'm aware that audio is not going to sound too good, but Hide and Peak Friends, that's the only one to cover off. Like I said, other games that will be arriving or are arriving. I've had quite a lot of people wanting to get this video out, as well as somebody wanting me to make some space. So this is all going to get moved around, as you can imagine, and it does take quite a long time to do that. But yes, as I said, daily videos aren't stopping anytime soon. They're already scheduled into next year, and I'll get the date of which will be moved around. Legion, I never mentioned as well. This is a game which is a kind of war game by Albi. So there's quite a few war games, interestingly, quite a few to do with China and Taiwan and Hong Kong and China as well. But I think that's covered everything off. Some stickers as well, which say no board games, no life. And yeah, I'm looking forward to trying these out and telling you all about them. Pick a Seal, I don't think I mentioned that one. That's by Jolly Thinkers. So I've got Pick a Polar Bear. This time I can combine the two. I have played both of them, so videos will be out quite quickly as well. Thanks very much for watching. Speak again soon, but for now, back to the table.